Hi guys, this is Katja with Creators Image Studio. I'm sharing with you today another one of my so-called Keepsake Albums Deluxe, as I call them. And you may remember my very first one, which I'm happy to say has become quite popular on YouTube. It was the Stars and Butterflies one. And after that one, I created a couple of more. The Flora and Fauna one. The Fairytale Treasures one, and the Country Garden one. And I have received lots and lots of requests to please do a tutorial. And I've got good news, I have actually written a tutorial. And to do that I created this one because, you know, I have to do the photos while I'm creating. So what you see here is that same type of album, and I used Webster's Pages Nest collection, which is springtime collection with both pattern papers as well as photo patterns, you know, just one sheet is one photo. So, and they also had a lot of cut apart sheets. And there's also some new elements that I use in this one, namely the vellum sheets. I've never worked with vellum before, patterned vellum that is, and Webster's Pages does several patterned vellum sheets with their latest collections, among others the Nest collection. So in this one you will see some vellum interaction. So let's open it up. It has a magnet closure, as always. And there we go. So there's 4 parts. There's the inside front cover part, there's the actual mini album part, then there's the back cover part and the let's say closure flap part. So let's start all the way here over on the left. There's a pocket assembly here. Here is one of the photo wallets that I created. And this is one of the cut apart sheets of the collection, and I just cut around several of these cut aparts. So that's one way of doing it, right? And here is one of the photo sheets that I mentioned. So this is actually a picture sheet, and here as well. So this gives you some interesting views. Here is a photo mat. Well, let's open it up because it's actually part of a pocket. So there's a flap and you can open it up like this as well. So here's 2 pockets, and I did a tag here. What I did here is stamp a pattern and using a very light color of ink. So you can still use it as a journaling spot, but I wanted to give some pattern to the paper to add some interest. And this is a sticker from the collection. And then on the back there is a tuck spot here. So this is a sticker, and then you can tuck something behind this. And in the second pocket there's a tag. And I created this tag by stamping on top of a pattern paper. And I stamped with different colors here. So there's 4 colors in one go, as it were. So I inked it up with 4 colors of ink. Added an eyelet here. And this is actually a tag stamp, so I stamped it and then fussy cut around it to get this shape. And it's a double-sided pattern paper, so you don't have to do anything on the back. And then you have a lot of room for pictures here. You can do 2 pictures here and 1 even here. You can tuck some more photos here in the pockets. And then on this flap there's some pattern paper. This is actually one piece, so this is one of the cut apart sheets from the collection. There's lots of cut apart sheets in this collection, so sometimes I use them to mat. And here is a little journaling spot in the pattern already, so you can add a date here. And you could glue a photo here, or you could just enjoy this pattern. And then there's a magnetized closure to keep everything neatly closed. And let's move on to the mini album part. Now, these page designs are my own, and I combined some of the ideas that I did in the Flora and Fauna Keepsake album, and also the Country Garden one and the Fairytale Treasures one. So the only one that really differs is the Butterfly and Stars one. But that is because the page designs of that one were from Kathy Orch's All Occasions mini album, so you can do her tutorial if you prefer those. But these are my page designs, so I of course did my own, so you can benefit from them in my tutorial. Now here is the first piece of vellum from the collection. What I did is make a tuck spot, so you can lift this and then tuck a photo here. And this is of course transparent or semi-transparent. So this would add some interest to your picture. And then here is one of the large mats that I always do in these albums. Very large, so you could do 2 photos in landscape mode or 1 large portrait mode picture, and left to back plain. So you can do some journaling or add even more pictures. And there's 2 tags here. And if we turn the page, then you can see that these fit the color patterns of this page assembly here. So you can add some photos to these mats. And what I did in several of my other albums, I created here as well. So there's 2 tags here, then there's 3 tags here, side loading, 2 again, and then 1. So 2, 3, 2, 1 to add some interest, but also some symmetry to the design. Okay, so what we see here is a very symmetrical page layout. There's 2 flaps here on the bottom, so you can open those up. And then there's 2 removable journaling spots that I added some stickles to, just to add a little interest. And you can just tuck them into the bottom pattern pockets, as I call them. So creating a pocket by cutting the pattern, following the shape of the pattern, that is. And look at this gorgeous paper. This is sort of a world map. This is a magnet closure. And then here 2 slip pockets with similar tags, so I pull out 1. And here I did some embossing, as you can see, which is a bit of a floral pattern, and it is by Sizzix, and it is from the Bohemian Lace set. So it's this one here. So I love those, and I added an eyelet here and of course a little ribbon here. And then of course the very large tag, and again the world map pattern, and added a flower, as I did on all 4 of those tags, and left the other side plain. Gorgeous paper, right? And like I said, 3 tags here, so let's pull them out. Look at the glorious colors. I really love this paper. So let's turn the page and then turn the tags, because now you can see that the patterns and colors of this side of the tags coordinates well with this page layout. And on this middle tag here I did some stamping, and the nice trick is to then add some stickles in different colors and just tracing your stamp. So I stamped this floral curly pattern and then traced it with my stickles, and look at the gorgeous effect you can create. And here you can see another one of the pattern vellum pieces that I did. I created an actual pocket from the vellum and added a little booklet, but as I remove it you can see it's semi-transparency. I really love that effect. And I added a little sticker here, and it says "Do what makes you happy." And this is actually created from the cover page of the collection. This Nest collection comes with a very lightweight chipboard cover page that shows all of the pattern papers. So I decided to use part of it and just cut it and fold it, and voila, there is my booklet. Gorgeous, right? Now what I also did is use some vellum again in a different way. So I used a punched floral border here to add this vellum to the booklet. So this is patterned vellum again, sort of a bluish or teal wood pattern. So you can actually use that as a page. So this is the other side of the floral border, And because the paper is double-sided, this gives you a nice patterned effect. So you can do a photo here or some journaling, and then this is a nice piece of interest. So that goes here. This is a little flap. It says fly high with some feathers. Love that paper line. And then here you can use this as a photo mat, and this wood is of course repeated here in the vellum, so it has some consistency in the design. Look at these gorgeous colors. I love these colors here. And I played around with some vellum yet again. You may not see it, but this is vellum again. And look what I did here. This is one of the cut aparts of the collection. It is a journaling spot with with a border of the pattern here. And I chose a piece of vellum that had that same type of pattern. Right, so the pattern here is repeated, so love that. And then here is some tags again. And here is the large photo mat again. And use this egg pattern. Well, I won't pull it out entirely, but you get the idea. Now let's turn the page. And look here. It says home. It's one of the cut aparts again from the collection. And here as well, it says family and high with some homely patterns. And this is a photo page. So I did a photo mat here. I added some banners that I created from the scraps of the design paper, inked around all of the edges, of course. And I did some fussy cutting. So I took a piece of design paper, fussy cut this entire picture here with the cute little birds and the branches and the flowers, and fussy cut. And you can actually lift those so you can tuck the photo behind that. And then on the next page there is a photo mat as well, so it's a little bit of repeating of the pattern to add some consistency, but not quite the same. The ribbon that you see here as well, very subtle here and here, so it's a repetition but not the same. So a nice large photo mat, a border here to tuck your photo behind, and used a very colorful pattern here, design paper pattern. These are of course some cut aparts. You could use those for project life like projects as well, but I use them to mat. And then here, this is one of the photo patterns again on the design sheets, and I added a double flower. So these are simply two flowers on top of each other in matching colors here, and added a little brad to finish. Look at this great pattern here. And then here is one large side-loading tag, which is a huge photo mat with lovely colors again. And if we turn the page, this other side coordinates with this page. Now here, the last page, I added a trifold with a magnetic closure, and you have some room for photos here. You could do one here, but you know, this is a little bird. I would not add a photo there, just enjoy the pattern here. And then here is a little pocket, and I used one of the cut aparts of the collection, rounded its corners to give it a little bit of an ATC card effect. It says our nest. And then the other side was of course double-sided, but I didn't like that pattern as much, so I added a piece of cardstock to create a little journaling spot. Look at this great bird pattern here, very cute. And then it closes with a magnet and it says dream big. So these were the mini album pages. So there's 8-page layouts with some interactive elements. And then here is one of my giant pockets on the back cover, inside back cover. And in the Flora and Fauna version of this album, I used that same type of pocket, but on the inside front cover. And then I had some pockets on the inside back cover. So there's a variation for you, but I did the giant pocket on the inside back cover here. Used one of the cut apart sheets as a matting sheet here. Love that again, and look at this wood here. It coordinates so well with each other, I think. And there is a magnetic closure here, and I did some embossing. And let's open it up. And I had to increase the distance with my camera a bit because there's a lot of flaps here, because you can fold this one out as well. So there's one large assembly. You can do some pictures here, and it closes, and then you can do a picture here, and of course you can tuck it in this very deep pocket. You can tuck a lot of loveliness. Look at this, because it has a double hinge, so there's a very much room for pictures and memorabilia. And as I said, a magnet closure. So let's go to the inside front closure flap here, because there's a lot going on as well. First of all, there's a pocket here, and I tucked some ATC cards or cut aparts that I made into ATC cards, because I rounded the corners, inked around the edges, and you could add a photo here. And this one says are happy, and this one says having somewhere to go is home. Chuck these in, and now here you can see the same piece that I created for my Butterfly and Stars album. So it has 3 charms dangling from a chain, and I attached it with 2 brads here. Now I also used some alcohol inks here, because these were actually metal colored or silver colored pieces, both the chain and the 3 charms, and now they are sort of coppery and cranberry like. And this I did with some alcohol inking, and this was a first for me. And the colors that I used here, they were cranberry and copper, and they were by Adirondack. So here you go, cranberry and copper. So yeah, this was my keepsake album, and I hope you enjoyed this design. And of course, I happily recommend my tutorial for those of you who have been clamoring for it. And well, see you next time, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.